magician dribbles the playing cards and invites the participant to call stop. The stop tap playing card is shown, remembered, and then lost back in the deck. In that moment, the selected playing card is controlled to the top of the deck, where the magician can use it to his advantage. I am Daniel Madison, and these are thoughts on the draw control. I am Daniel Madison, welcome back. Thanks for being here. Charlie Madison and I really appreciate you choosing to spend a bit more time with us today. Boy, do I have a dope video for you today. In this video, I'm going to share with you almost everything that I know about the draw control. Stay tuned to the end of this video. I've got a trick to share with you that is absolute gold. Anybody who knows the trick blind, you're going to love this one. I'm going to open up these playing cards too. These are the first edition Paradigm playing cards from Derek Grimes. Thanks for sending me these, man. I'm looking forward to opening these up and using them in this video. Now, there's an address in this video description. Electric Picture House Tattoo Studio. If you want your playing cards to have a chance of being featured on one of my videos, send me at least 2 decks to the address in this video description. One that I can open up and use, and one for potential giveaways. I'm in a state of mind where I don't really want to be using my playing cards on film anymore. I'd rather take that advantage and give you guys the opportunity to share your playing cards on film too. So although it's not necessarily a deck review video, we are going to take a close-up look at these playing cards. Let's see them in action. And on that note, let's open these up and take a look. Get yourself a deck of playing cards. It's time for me to share my thoughts on the draw control. Into the mechanics, the best way to expose this, the best way for me to show you the core mechanics of this is over the shoulder from this angle, using only the top 2 playing cards. So I don't actually have to demonstrate this as a trick in order to show you how it works. This is the best possible way of teaching it to you from the beginning. And once you know the technique, once you know the core mechanics, then it all comes down to performance. But right now, let's focus on the mechanics. So this all relies on your behavior, the angle of your arm and your hand, mixed with the move itself, which all happens with your thumb. So the deck is held in a mechanic, a dealer's grip, or whatever grip you want to call it, it's your hand. Your thumb's going to go on top, and you're going to push from about here. You're going to push at least 3 cards. You want to see at least 3 playing cards for this to work. Ideally, aim for this 1, 2, 3, so you can see 3 playing cards. Once you can see this, and by the way, this is what you show the participant, this is what you show your audience. You show them this, you show them the spread first, and then as you raise your hand to show them this playing card, the top playing card, the thumb pulls back on the top playing card. So you push over like this, then you raise it up, and as you raise up, round about here, round about the middle point, that's when you're going to pull back the top playing card, and this allows us to show the second playing card whilst keeping the top playing card hidden. So from the front, if I show you the playing card is the 4 of clubs, so we have the 4 of clubs on top. Try and get you in focus. might help. So the top playing card is the 4 of clubs, so I go from here to here, and now the 4's banished, and it looks like nothing has happened. It looks like I'm just showing you this playing card. Again, if I go back down here, it still looks like this is the 9 of clubs, but it's the 4. So if I do it without the move, there we are, the 4 and the 9. Let me fix my focus, there we go. If I do it without the move, it looks just like this and this. If I do it with the move, so from here this is the 4, and the move here, and now I'm showing you the 9. And all that's happening is the move itself. So you can see that the 9 has been pulled back, or the 4 has been pulled back, should I say. So we're showing them the spread to begin with, like this, and then you raise it up as if to show them this playing card. And as you go up, you're pulling it back, and it is back by the time it gets up here. There are a lot of mistakes that can happen at this point, but right now we're just going to focus on the mechanics. And the mechanics mean that this playing card, the actual top playing card, has to be pulled back around about halfway between here and here. So halfway between this point and this point. So somewhere in the middle, you want that drawback to happen at that point. So once again, from the front, all from the front this time, you know the 4 of clubs is on top. I push them over as if I'm going to show you this card, and then I went off camera, but sorry about that. So I go like this, as if to show you this, and then I turn it to show you, and now I'm showing you the 9 out of focus. Brilliant. Once again, here I push over, get to this point, show you, and now when I come back down, I can take this and have you believe that it's the 9 of clubs when in fact it's that hidden top playing card. So if you were doing this for a trick from the dribble that I demonstrated in the beginning of this video, you would go here. I'm going to pretend that I'm showing you this playing card, so I push them over, but when I come up here I do this so that I'm showing you in this case a 10 of spades, and I have a hidden jack of clubs. So back to this position. Now when I come back down, I push this back over. I can lose it inside this packet. I can then put this on top, and the card looks like it's gone inside, but I've controlled it to the top of the deck. So they're the basic mechanics. Are very, very simple. There's a lot that can go wrong though, and now it's all down to performance. So let's move the camera to a more comfortable angle, and let's get serious with thoughts on the draw control. So the draw control and all the wonderful things that you can do with it. I'm not going to cover absolutely everything because I'd like to leave a few things for your imagination, but I certainly will give you enough to play with, and I will give you enough to go away and do some incredible magic with. The whole point of this idea, the draw control, allows you to control the playing card, a freely selected playing card, from anywhere in the deck to the top of the deck, and then you can do what you want with it. And this really is a free selection. I mean, you can use the force card, and we'll get to that, but I like the idea that this is a completely free choice. It allows us to embrace a whole pure performance. I love that. I love being challenged. I love playing with challenging audiences and participants. The kind of people who give me those cards. I want to shuffle those. I want to do everything to make sure that I catch you out. Those kind of people are usually the best to play with, because you find that they're looking for all the wrong things. They're looking for things that they believe to be obvious, so that when they present a challenge to you, what they believe to be a challenge to us, they're actually helping us in ways. And this is one of those things that no matter what condition the deck is in, you can go straight into it and you can achieve a miracle with this. So without any force playing cards, without anything, this deck completely shuffled, I instantly can take it and say stop at any point. I now look over here as I show them that playing card, and I've just done the draw move. So I'm showing the 10 of heart, and the 8 of heart is behind it. So the first part of this act is the disassociation, or the removal of myself. The more I look like I don't really have any interest in the playing cards or anything to do with them, this makes our tricks, our deceptions, our magic as powerful as it can possibly be. So even in those few frames, even in those few moments where it feels like nothing's even happened yet, I'm already setting up so many things, so much. the playing cards are being shuffled thoroughly by Susan Sausage. She puts the playing cards down. I'm simply going to pick the cards up like this and say, look, I'm going to dribble the playing cards, call stop whenever you want. I'm not going to look at the deck. I'm not going to say to them, I won't look at the play. I'm not even going to look. Susan, I'm not going to look at the playing cards. I'm not going to say that, because then it makes people think. It makes people think, well, why is he saying that? Maybe he secretly is. You just want to do it as if it's a real thing, because it is a real thing, and it's very innocent, because we don't need to look at the playing cards. So although we're not saying that, we are transmitting that information in a very subtle way that seems to not draw attention when really it does. So I pick the playing cards up and I say I'm going to dribble the playing cards, and I just want you to call stop. Anywhere in the deck you can call stop. So I look away as I dribble, and this gives the information that I'm really not looking, and which I'm not, which you know that you don't need to look at this point. So we dribble until they call stop, and we do this when we're looking away. And then I hold the deck, or at least this packet, at arm's length. I also make sure that this packet is in sight, and it's somewhere face down like this. Fingers are kind of spread out naturally, but I leave it away from my eyes in the open, but the subject point is over here. This is the subject of deception, and I hold it at arm's length. Again, it gives the impression that I don't have any control over this packet, or there's the disassociation because of the distance from me to it, or more to the point, the distance between my eyes and this packet. I've not looked at it, one, I'm not looking at it when I'm doing this part, two, and it's far away from my eyes, so it gives all these little nuggets of information that we don't really even know sometimes as performers that we're given. If they don't know we're giving it to them, and it's in our best interest to make sure that they don't know what we're doing. So that's why you don't say, look, you have thoroughly shuffled these playing cards, look, I'm going to dribble them and I'm not going to look. You don't need to say all that, it's all nonsense. As soon as you say it, you draw attention. So pick the cards up, I dribble, on the arm's length, I'm looking away. As long as I know that she's going to see the card when I show it to her, I don't have to look. So I'm going to stay back here and I'm going to say, look, are you happy to stop here? It's good to give them a choice, because the people, the skeptics who say, no, I want to dribble some more, then that's gold for us. We don't want to put them in a position where we say, are you sure you want to stop there? I can dribble some more if you want. Because again, that draws unnecessary attention and it makes them think when we don't want them to think. So unless they confront you and say, I want to dribble some more, just don't do anything. But you can make it clear that they can stop wherever they want. Just don't oversell it is what I'm saying. So at this point, as long as I know that she's looking at the card, I make sure that this is seen. They see me spreading the cards, and now I do this fairly slowly, and I make extra attention to look away at this point. So this requires a little bit of a tennis match with where you're looking to transmit that information. So I do this, looking away. At this point I'm like, are you sure you want to stop here? Or at least giving that information across. I spread the cards slowly. As I spread them slowly, I kind of look back. So I'm looking back at the audience, or back at Susan at least. This just positions my head in this direction so that it makes it look like more is happening, or I'm taking more care not to look when I now look back here. It looks like I've made more effort to look away when really I haven't. I've just looked back and then looked away again. But it does give that important information, at least important information that maybe you're not even aware of yet. So from here, spread, and now I look away because I don't want them to think I'm looking at the card. So I do this, and I say, you've seen it, you've seen it. Not in every instance. I mean, in every single performance, every single time you're going to do magic and perform, it's going to be different every single time. So consider these moments of advice. I mean, I wouldn't do it like this every single time. I like the idea when I'm at this point to come back over and sometimes it feels right to touch the card and say, look, remember the card. Us putting our finger on it makes it real and kind of certifies that that is their card. There are no two ways about this. At this point, it is good to pay attention to this one note, that you don't want to be in a position where, I'll get close to the camera, where you have more cards than this protruding or away from the deck, because they might look at this card and an idiot might look at the bottom card. It can happen. So at this point, when you do this and this. I like the idea of coming back and saying, remember the card, or coming over and touching it. But depending on how you're going to use the trick and what you're going to do with this move, with this Sleight. We'll get to this in a second, but when you pull it back down here, you're going to take it with the other hand. Sometimes, other times you're just going to use this same hand, which is what I'm going to show you now. You're going to use this same hand to do everything. When you decide to do this with this hand, as in taking the card and doing something with it, adding an extra action, we'll deal with that after this point. But when you do that, then it's vital, not vital, but it's important that you do touch the card, because you want to get them used to you touching the card from the beginning, rather than coming in all of a sudden and just taking it. I'm getting ahead of myself. So we're here, this spread, I show the card, your card. Now at this point, as soon as I know, as soon as they've given me the information that they know what card it is, that they're gonna remember the card, I go back down to position 1, which is the spread. So it goes position 1, spread, position 2, deception, position 1, back to the spread. So we're going back, forth. So we show them the second card. This is their card. In this position, the top card is not theirs. The whole point of the draw control, but they believe the top card is theirs. So when we get to this point back down here, look how fair that looks. It's hanging off the edge of the deck. When they see their card hanging off the edge of the deck, it makes it look impossible for us to do anything deceptive with it. And then that is solidified when they keep their eyes on this playing card and they can follow it completely. Because now we're going to come back here, we're going to put this packet down. I can take it with this hand and put it here. Right now I'm just going to keep my distance. So I've done the move, I'm showing the 10 of hearts, the 8 of hearts hidden behind it. I come back down like this. They can see it clearly. I come over here carefully, put it on top of the other pile. We'll get to another move in a second, but just to finish this off, I then take this packet carefully, put it on top, square up. So you shuffled the playing cards. I dribbled, you called stop, I showed you a card. I don't know what it is. It could have been any card. That card is now inside the deck. By the way, everything I'm saying now isn't something that you say to the participant. I'm not saying that, I'm saying this to you, and I'm kind of going over the trick for myself and for your sake. The playing card's on top now, so we can do whatever we want with it. And that really is up to you. I have to hold myself back quite a lot in these moments, because there are so many tricks that I want to suggest that you do right now at this moment. But it's very important, as an individual artist, as an individual performer, it is important that you create these moments or you create your deception and magic that suits you better than it's going to suit me. Because I might suggest something now with this playing card, with this trick, where to take this from this moment, and it might not fit into your routining or into your repertoire or into your style, but you might still take it and do it anyway, and in the long run damage your reputation for doing something that I've told you to do, rather than taking the Sleight and making it your own. Not making the Sleight your own, but using it in a way that makes the trick your own. So what you do next is up to you, is kind of yours. But that's kind of the main gist of the performance. Now let's take a quick look, not a quick look, but we know what we're doing now, so the rest should be fairly easy. You should be able to take this in fairly easy, because it's all now down to performance, body language, behavior, and we don't really even need attention direction, because everything can be said. That is one of the beautiful things about this. Everybody can eyeball the hell out of this deck, and they're not going to see anything. Maybe somebody stood behind me looking over my shoulder, but I'll go back to something that I said time and time again in my lessons. Nobody's looking for a deception. And even the people who are looking for the trick, they're not looking in the right place, and they're certainly not looking at the right time. Think about that. Think about that with this trick. They've shuffled the playing cards. I've got no control yet. Now I pick the playing cards up, I could have a little bit of control, but I dribble and call stop fairly whenever you say. I simply show you the playing card, I bring it back down, lose it, and square the deck up and step away. the level of control, apparent control, feels like I couldn't have possibly done anything. So the deception in the participant's mind, in the audience mind, is still on its way. They're now thinking, maybe he knows what position he put it at, or maybe there's a break in the deck so he can cut to it and he can get to it. So you're already one step ahead, you're already 2 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead. So we don't have to worry about people looking. So even if somebody was stood behind me, I would still do this move. I would still do it. Even especially when you know that when you show somebody this playing card, you're not leaving it there for 2 hours. It's there for like maybe 5 seconds at the most, different every time. And if somebody stood behind me that I am going to worry about, then I'm going to do this. Remember the card? Remember it? Okay? So I'm shading the whole thing with my body, with my chest. And again, I'm still managing to look away. So that's the kind of the basic, not the basic, but the full kind of explanation of what this is all about, what the draw control is. And before I move on, let's talk a little bit about crediting, because I know that this is hundreds of years old, and I kind of know the right places and the right people to be mentioning. Like Marlowe specifically, I know that he's used this move, a few other people, and I've even shown it people throughout my career who have said it's not really credited to anybody. It's a bit like the Bond deal. It doesn't belong to somebody, it was discovered. So at the bottom, in the video description of all my videos, I have a disclaimer, and it's the same every time. Everything that I develop and do and create and work on, I do it kind of on my own, uninfluenced from the magic industry, and I do this as a way of trying to keep my, this sounds really cheesy and smarmy, but I like to try and keep my art pure, and a good way of doing that is to avoid the industry that you kind of belong to. So I stay away from magic and magicians because I don't want to be influenced by them, because I don't want to end up looking like them and sounding like them and doing the same things that they do. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, as for the move itself, I don't ever claim anything to be my own. I know this isn't mine. But the things that I do with it and the way that I've developed it, I like to think that I add something to it and I bring something to it. That's why I say these are thoughts of the draw control. I'm not trying to claim this. And in reality, I'm never really trying to claim anything that I put out, any kind of moves. And I know I've spoken about this before, and I'm probably wasting your time right now, so I'm going to move the camera angle and we're going to talk about a few different things that you can do with the draw control. When you start playing around with this move and figuring out what you can do with it, you're probably going to end up fooling yourself a few times. Just how beautifully clean it feels and looks. There are quite a lot of subtleties that you can add to this to make it feel fairer and feel more realistic. I'm going to go over a few of them right now. Starting with, I like to perform a lot on a table, on a surface. Again, it allows us to step away and remove ourselves from the playing cards so much more than it would do if they're always in our hands. So not necessarily a close-up table or a poke table, any kind of surface that you're near when you're performing. It's always good to be able to put the playing cards down and stand back, show any opportunity to show your hands empty without forcing it. It's always good for people like us, people who use playing cards. There's an idea when we're using a playing card of using a table for the playing cards. Pick the deck up, dribble. We're in this position now where they call stop. When they call stop, as I do the move, I push these 2 cards over. As I do that move, I'm going to put this packet down and then lift up. Now, this causes, again, like a bit of a tennis match, a bit of a ping pong with the eyes, so it distracts them. Not that we need the distraction, but it does add something nice, this level of control that we have over where they're looking. So if we do this and then push and then go down, up, so they've gone from here to here. Now they're looking at their playing card. It's almost like it's being forced on them. So with this position at this point, when I come back down, there's something really nice about having the card here, putting our finger on the front of it, so near the index. I can see that's King of Spades, so I put my finger here, and then coming back down, doing the return move on the way down, leaving my finger there. So I touch the selected card, and as I come down, I go back to position 1, and my thumb is now on the back of the dead card of the three of hearts. So once again, the three of hearts hidden here on top. When I do the move up here, I'm hiding the three, showing the king. So I say, remember your card. I come back down, I'm just pushing the three back over the top of the king, and it lines up perfectly for my finger and thumb. So in this position, I can take it very fairly and just put it down here, and then put the rest of the playing cards on top and complete. However, before we even move on from that point, there's another subtlety that I love to do when we're at a table. Something that for those people who are a little bit, not even for the people who are worried that people can see what they're doing, that the audience might be able to backtrack. There's a move right now that we can apply that will completely hinder, that will completely put an X, a big hex over the chances of anybody managing or trying to reverse engineer or backtrack what we're doing. So from this position again, so we'll start again. I'll dribble through the same cards. So the three, I pull the three back, show the king, this goes down. Remember your card. Down here, now have the three of heart. I put it down on top carefully. Anybody who might backtrack might get to this point and think, he did a move there. At this point, if you execute a false cut right now, a false slip cut, so I cut this packet in half with my free hand, like so. I'll cover this in a different video. It's very simple. I'm assuming that you already know how to do this. You cut like this, finger one, finger two, thumb in the back. I take the bottom packet, put it here, and then this packet here. That keeps the king on top. Now that move is simply me taking the bottom packet, putting it down, and putting the top packet back on top. When you do that at a normal speed with a little bit of motion blur, it looks like, I'll put the top card face up, it looks like you cut the deck, it looks like you cut the packet. So when we take advantage of that moment, let's start again. Dribble, show the card, remember your card, four of club at this time. I come down like this, carefully put it here, do a false cut, and then square. So now that false cut added another level where, and at the same time it looks like it's even more mixed up, which it isn't, because we still put the same amount of cards on top, yet it added another layer, so that when they go backwards, they have to now start thinking about, how did he cut that packet twice? Not that they're going to get to that point, and you certainly shouldn't run unless you're being chased, but still, it's a nice little subtlety to add to that point, so that for some reason it makes them think that it's now more lost than it was before you cut that second packet. Doesn't make any sense, but it adds that psychological deception, which is always good for us as performers to try to apply to all of our deceptions. Of all the things that I want to share, that I want to talk to you about and tell you about, that take advantage of the draw control, the draw technique, I'm going to hold on to them. I'm very aware that this is a very long video, it's become a very long video, but I do want to leave you with one more piece of gold. Now, I would never usually suggest or teach something that would use more than one deck of playing cards. I did teach something called blind once that took advantage of another person's deck of playing cards. The reason I try and stay away from things like this is because as magicians, we're not supposed to perform for magicians. We're not doing it for magicians. It's wrong. Yet, as somebody in the magic industry, as somebody who teaches magic, I spend more time with magicians than anybody else, and a lot of magicians usually expect me to be able to fool them. So this forces me to think beyond fooling a normal person or deceiving a normal person, but deceiving a deceiver. And it leads to tricks like this. Tricks where in an unlikely situation, they also would have a deck of playing cards. So I want to share something with you that kind of follows along the lines for those people who know what blind is. This is something very similar. It's a piece of gold, and I'm sure many of you watching will know somebody who uses playing cards. So you can take their playing cards and you can fry their brains with this idea using the draw technique, and it relies on you having a duplicate playing card. So in my deck, I have two 9 of clubs. Now, fortunately, most playing cards, well, some playing cards come with duplicate playing cards. I believe that the paradigm playing cards come with, there we go, 2 3 of hearts. Still gonna use a 9 though. So I've got two nine of clubs on top of the deck. It doesn't matter which playing card they deal me just yet, but here's what's going to happen. I'm going to false shuffle, keeping those nine of clubs both on top of the deck. I'm going to slip cut one inside. I'm not going to teach this whole thing, I'm going to show you the concept. I'm going to slip cut one inside, and then I'm going to say, I'm going to pick a random playing card, I'm going to put it on top of your deck. Please note how I'm doing everything first. I did this first. I want you to do the same thing. Go through the deck, take out a random playing card without looking, and put it on top of my deck. They do that. It doesn't matter what playing card they give me, because I know that I've given them the nine of clubs. And just to show you, from this deck I got the jack of spades. But when I show that top card, I'm going to use the draw technique, and I'm going to do this. And I'm going to show, look, you dealt me the nine of clubs. So then I come back down, this looks like the nine of clubs. Now I'm going to say, take a look at what playing card I dealt you. Perform this however you will, but when they look, they're going to find the nine of clubs, and they're going to freak the F's where we're at. I'm going to be one step ahead, and I'm going to say, hold on, I'm going to show you something else. We're going to take this one step further. I'm going to take a playing card out, and I want you to take out the same playing card from your deck, and it's going to be this one. In fact, I'll put it on top of your deck of cards. So I take this playing card out, jack of spades, because I know it's here. I put it on top of their deck, and I say, take any playing card out and put it on top of mine. It's going to be the same as mine. So they take one out. This one's the ace of diamonds. I tell them to look at the card I dealt them first. They see the jack of spades. I then turn this over, and it's wrong. It's the ace of diamonds, and I say, yeah, you couldn't have dealt me the jack of spades because I already took it out of your deck. Now they turn over the card that was the nine of clubs to find the jack of spades, and you're left clean because there's nothing to backtrack, there's nothing to chase. Everything's there on the table, and the deck can be placed down, fully inspected. Doesn't really have a name, but I guess we can just keep calling that blind. And with that, I'm going to end, because once again, the time of this video, the length of this video is on my back, and it's giving me a bit of pressure. So thanks for your time. Let's go to the outro. Those were my thoughts on the draw control. I've got so many dope tutorials on the way. All ask in return, make sure that you're subscribed so that you get that little bell going ding 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 every time I drop a new video. Also, in my upcoming videos, I'm going to start giving away some of the playing cards that you lovely people keep sending in to me, including these Paradigm playing cards from Derek Grimes. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'll be there straight after this video. I'm Daniel Madison. See you next time.